with some announcements. We'll go through a couple of things to do with the roadmap. We'll go through the suggestions pipeline and get some updates. We've got a number of updates this week. Medad has just closed out the monthly updates, so I think there's 6 or 7. And then we'll have name and topic. So I can see that Define has put his name and topic in at 8 p.m. exactly. If you have something to talk about, please do just let us know, and we'll be going through in order. I think Steph's got an update as well. I have a couple of updates, so just get a minute, and we'll get going in about 2 minutes. Cheated. I put 3 in. Awesome. Let's wait 1 more minute. I think we will have a couple of name topics. I think just with the number of folks who have put in monthly updates recently. All good, Elliot. I know that you wanted to give a quick update, so that's great. We'll wait 30 more seconds and then we'll get going. See my screen.
Yep, we've got it.
Fantastic. We've been putting Claude Design to good use, and after about 3 or 4 months, I have finally created some slides for this. Awesome. Well, super excited to dive in. I know we have a lot to get through today. For those of you who don't know me, my name's Rich, and I'm one of the directors at Lightbeer Foundation. Some whistle-stop tour of some announcements this week. We're going to start having a top 5 from this week, so maybe from this week onwards, if you do have something it's particularly important to shout about, make sure you get it to me before Watercooler next week. So first things first, we have the live infra SPE. Koonsman, I don't think he's on the call, but passed with 100% support, which is fantastic, to sustain the community node service with Arbitrum. The network engineering SP vote is underway to fund small, faster engineering work. We had Daydream Scope go live on the network, paying customers. There was an update from Josh, and I don't know whether one of the Daydream team wants to give a quick update on that. We had the orchestrator reward and fee cut history shipped on the Explorer, giving visibility into rewarded fee cut history, but also allowing delegators to make better decisions of where to allocate stake. And then finally, we had the V2 docs wrapped up and which we'll come on to in a minute. A quick overview of the suggestions pipeline. So, as I think everyone knows by now, suggestions are community-led ideas. Say community-led, it can come from Lightbeer Inc., come from Foundation. these suggestions, things that emerge out of the community, we can discuss them and validate them as a community, and then they get added to the roadmap where we then try and get them funded and resourced, right? And that can be through things like, well, the foundation directly, it can be things like the on-chain treasury with an SPE, or it can be now in the future with things like the network engineering SPE funding, different requests for proposals, RFPs, or retroactive grants. Three things moved this week. So the Explorer roadmap session moved into, there was a good discussion last week, which I'll come on to in a little bit. Thanks everyone who took part, and it went to really out a potential RFP for to go live when the network engineering SP goes live. The network engineering SP also got promoted to the roadmap. The SP vote is coming as we speak. And then the 5-minute API is also on the roadmap and shipping to make it easier to discover capabilities on the network. I think Steph, I don't know whether you're on the call now, Steph is going to give a quick update on that with the narrative piece, and super excited to get that to the roadmap and have some visibility. Madan, do you want to give a quick update on accountability side with what's shipping?
Sure. So we had a lot of posts this month. A lot of things happened. Uh, both, like more than both, Explorer RFP, Cloud SPE, and the uh, Docs RFP all finished, and we have their retrospectives in the forum. Check them out. And we also have the update from protocol team and from Viv, which is Define. I'm sure he wants to go through it himself. And apart from that, as Rich mentioned, we have the pre-proposal for Network SPE and also the Q2 2026 operation for live infra. You can check them all out in the roadmap changelog section, and the canonical document is there. It can route you to all of the documents I just mentioned.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. So without further ado, let's come to some name and topics. We have a full schedule. Thanks, Doug. Thanks, Elliot. Thanks, myself. Um, and thanks, Define. If you have any more, just chuck them in and we'll get to you. Define, you are always quick on the draw up first. Do you want to come on up and give a quick update?
Yes, thank you, Rick. Ritz, sorry. So, for those who don't know me, I'm an entrepreneur and developer and also orchestrator within the Livepeer ecosystem. And I also operate the With Growth SP. Today, I'm here to give some updates regarding the With SP and also to present a demo. So, the first update is regarding the go-to-market hire. For those who are not aware, we have posted a new position for the WebSP in the Livepeer forum. You can find the JD there, and it is a pure growth position. We're still contemplating regarding the addition of a more senior fractional role or a mid-senior full-time role, and the interviews will finish by the end of this week, and we hope that this individual will be onboarded and working uh, by the start or mid of next week, hopefully. So this is regarding the go-to-market role. Another thing I want to say is that we continue the development of the embody avatars. Even though Dane left, we are now fully capable of fulfilling this role without any dedicated Unreal Engine developer. We're right now able to about 90% of the full engineering scope of what a normal Unreal Engine engineer would be able to, and the rest are just regarding hardness. I have put a post on X regarding that. I will share it here shortly. Practically, you will have an update either within this week on the embodied avatars or by the start of next week, where we will give you the full information about the current state of the avatars. So we're dedicated on that front, and all the work that Dane worked really hard all this month to complete, like, didn't went to waste. And we also have the full source code, so the transfer was completed, then gave the source code, and we can continue the development. Amazing. So I will show you the application that the Weave tool, the Weave runtime created. For the first application, we chose an LLM and an LLM application and an API application. And the thinking is to use primitives that the GPUs allow you to use, like LLM models, as the first product, but change the revenue model because of what the live bird economics enable. So what you see here is practically free. The user doesn't need to pay at all. So how is revenue sustained? It is sustained because once the application detects that you want to buy something or you have an interest for something that we maintain in the ads database, it will throw you an advertisement. And so by clicking on this advertisement or by watching these advertisements, you're getting extra credits. You start with some credits, and then I will ask, for example, okay, and then I will say, I'm thinking to buy some headphones. Then the LLM will detect that I want to buy headphones, and it will show me the advertisement. If I say that I want to buy some groceries, because we don't have an advertisement for groceries, it will not give me any advertisement. But this is only how the chat interface is maintained. How you actually maintain that with the API, and from there we have a different revenue model, which I haven't in this demo, but I will just talk to you about it. And so if you're using the API, you can use the API for free, and you're getting credits if you complete a useful PR. So this is how you put into work people who are capable, who are able to engineer, to steer the LLMs properly, and to complete features. These features can be bounties as well. And we will try to get into contact with people who need that, and we will provide the compute for these people for free to use with the API. If they complete the bounty, for example, they get 1,000 credits to continue spend in whatever they want. What you see here is being powered by OpenRouter. This week, we will do the jump and deploy it on Livepeer. So all the orchestrators who run
Any questions from the audience? Maybe John finish. Here we go. For the LLM request, are you using your own containers or other models on the network?
So I looked at the gateway jobs that were available, and it came to my understanding that we have multiple LLMs served into the network. We are looking to utilize these. I will take a look at how exactly these LLM pipelines are being offered. I'm also working with Reach to be able to utilize the client SDK. Now, we're definitely going to have some preferences in the LLMs that the orchestrators need to deploy because we potentially need the newest model. I think I saw some Gemma 4 are there, so definitely some stronger lower tier models, but I think we're gonna have like the A list, and I'm not sure if the how the current adapter works, if you are able to deploy any LLM with the existing capabilities of Liveware. But yes, we will look. We will utilize the existing capabilities of the network. Yes, Olama is on the network. Olama is an older model. But yeah, definitely I will be looking on the models that we can offer from the existing. Yes, sir. Yeah, it can work. All we have to do is just to change the component to work instead of open router with the existing services. Now we probably need to either put up our own gateway or use your payments SDK or use the client SDK that Rick prepares. We will find the best solution from all of these three, and we will deploy it. So only Mike serves this model. If I want, for example, to deploy some models, what is the process? Does anyone here know? Oh, okay.
Mike, do you wanna come on up? Yeah,
You hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Luke's
so I
all over.
definitely have been working on building out some containers that allow anyone on the network to run any model. Again, obviously there's limitations to what a GPU can handle, but I think at this point LLMs are a solved problem. You know, anyone on the network can run any VLLM or OLAMA model you want. You just need to do some testing to make sure it meets your needs. I've sent out a document that describes how to onboard folks, and I'm building some tools now to make that whole process a lot easier. So that'll be something that I'll be sharing with the community over the next week or so.
My question, can we use your gateway considering that you're already deploying these models and we can of course take care of the payments that you
Yeah,
will
the
require.
gateway, Cloud SPE gateways are publicly available and serving OpenAI compatible endpoints now. So you're more than welcome to use it.
Amazing. Do you have any documentation on how to access these gateways?
Yeah, it's standard stuff. I mean, at the end of the day, it's just a URL, right? Like if anyone using an Open SDK, OpenAI SDK, the only thing you need is the base URL. Once you have the base URL, you can submit jobs to it. So I'll share you what I have. We have our example website that uses it right now. Let me pull that up and send you the link. So if you just look at the network tab in the browser, you can see the URL that it's sending it to, and then you'll see the Open SDK or OpenAI SDK calls in there.
Mhm. Amazing. Thank you so much, Mike. This makes our job even easier.
That's what we like to do, man.
And I'll
It's
add
not
that
easy. No one's using it.
And Mike and I were looking at integrating the SDK and support these types of workloads just a few weeks ago, but we switched on to something else. But I think it'd be something to continue working on, Mike. Getting Payment House working with SDK and Blue Claw specifically. But yeah, the gateways are available. But an SDK experience is kind of nice for the agent experience, I think.
Where is LLM SPE Mark II, led by Cloud SPE?
It was something that I was all for from the very beginning. I love the LLM stuff, and I think as Ben mentioned before, this is one of those areas where the market is hot. So I don't see why we wouldn't want to try to tap into these open claws and Hermes agents and all the different things based on it. We want to get into that community and start serving them because we have the GPUs. Why not put them to work?
I agree, but we need to think about the security issue, how to make the end-to-end conversation private. I think this is the only piece that is missing, and once we figure that out, we can put way more applications there.
Yeah, definitely some limitations in that regard. I think it's public. Obviously orchestrators manage the compute. So if there's ways to get that pipeline completely encrypted or hidden away so that the traffic can't be inspected, that would be good. I mean, obviously going through Cloud SPE infrastructure, there's nothing's being monitored. It's all completely abstracted away. So no one's listening to our traffic, but the orchestrator itself could be doing some nefarious things. So, but that's something that the protocol at large has to be concerned with and addressing.
Yeah,
I think it's a really good point too, with the SDK being able to communicate directly with orchestrators. You are able to cut out the gateway and potentially one other source of data capture.
Yeah, man. But we're, you got to make it work, and then you got to make it good.
For sure. And Mike, looking forward to hearing a formal Blue Claw announcement at some point, like update. Would love to get. And also would love to hear what needs to happen on the network side.
We definitely got a lot of work to do. We got about 20 beta users. We had a rocky start. Some compute got ripped out, and we had to start over. But we got about 20 beta users now using it, and light traffic, but enough to kind of kick the tires and prove it out. So I'm hoping to get to double that number, and then try to go after a public launch of some sort. But it's definitely slower moving than I'd like, but definitely moving ahead.
maybe for another time.
Yeah, definitely not ready for announcements today, but we will definitely have something coming up very, very soon. Just stay tuned. We're not stopping. We're still working.
Never in doubt. I think
I think that public toilet is starting to backfire a little bit. Network. Is that me or is that him?
No, definitely signal is not coming out of the.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, now we can.
Yeah, the Wi-Fi in this public toilet is terrible, to be fair. Really not good. Alrighty, cool. I was saying use your VPN to stay secure. Thank you. Awesome. Let's move on. Thanks, Mike. Thanks. Thanks, Stefan, for the update, and Mike and John for chipping in. Awesome. I was going to chuck it to Steph, but she's had a minor emergency. Everything okay? So I'm gonna hop in next and to give a very quick update on the network engineering SPE. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Someone? Yeah. Alrighty, cool. So yeah, you've heard this multiple times before. Network Engineering SP has gone live. It's a delegated pool. There's two primary tracks. One RFPs, which are requests for proposals, which are scoped up front, paid in 3 tranches. The other is retroactive funding for bits of work that have been completed and then apply retroactively for funding. The request of the SP is 90K. It's for a 3-month pilot, which has two funding tracks, and it also has a review team of 3 people. The first has been confirmed of my far better namesake in all senses, Rick, who will be leading from the foundation perspective. And then we've also had 2 people that have been put forward as potential candidates. I must admit, these are the only 2 people that have been put forward. But personally, I work with both of them. I think they're great. The first has been Brad to potentially join on the RFP side, and his role would be helping to scope out RFPs himself, and then also ensuring and reviewing RFP applications. And the other one has been Jason, who obviously both of them have done a lot of work with the AISPE, and Jason would be on the retroactive grants side. These 2 folks have been put forward. There's some idea of compensation. It's a very lightweight, and it should be the same. Sorry, there we go. And yeah, obviously a big part of it is ensuring that people from the community are putting forward retroactive grants for work that they have done and to incentivize, and then ensuring that we're getting RFPs. So we are at a stage where obviously the SP hasn't passed, and none of this matters if the SP doesn't pass. But if it does, then I would love other people to come forward and either propose themselves or propose other people within the community. It's key to have someone, 2 people outside the foundation. We want it to primarily come from the orchestrator community. So. We also had the first feedback session last week on the Explorer. One of the big things, thanks everyone, Elliot was a huge value add, and also Mike and Speedy, Define, I think IBS was there, a couple of other folks. So yeah, thanks everyone for the input. But really the highlight that kept on coming up is that we need to start to really inquire about the drop-in delegator account and to try and improve delegator UX. There's no analytics done at this moment in time, or very little, mostly because obviously it's permissionless, right? So the question is, how do we actually test that UX and do some user testing? So that was a good conversation, and already moved towards scoping out this first RFP. So that's pretty much it. My final thing is to say thank you everyone who has voted already. We've got 11% participation, which is great. We need quorum at 33, so please can everyone go and vote. If you love it, you hate it, or you don't really care, either way, just vote. That would be fantastic, and we'll get to quorum. Any questions on any of this? Just more conversation about me being in a public toilet. I won't reveal the public toilet. I'm gonna presume silence is assent, and I'll answer any more questions in the chat apart from about my location. Awesome. Let's. I guess the final thing is yeah. Just let me know if you are interested in partaking in the network engineering SP or someone else. That's the primary CTO. Cool. Let's move forward. I'll come back to my second one in a bit. I think Doug. Doug, you're up next. Go ahead.
Oh, hello. Mic check. 1, 2. How we doing?
Yeah, we've got you.
Loud and clear.
Loud and clear. That's what I like to hear. Okay. So I was racing pretty hard to publish a LivePeer Inc. product update on the forum, and didn't quite get there, but it should go live later today or tomorrow morning, hopefully. And what I wanted to do was just at a very high level come on the water cooler and just talk about the progress on some of the products that we've been developing. And can show a little glimpse of them as well. And then I think next week want to invite some of the team members to the water cooler to do some live demos for everyone so they can show these things off in real time. So let's try the old Discord screen share, always an adventure. Let's see. Voila. All right. I think the screen share works so far. We'll see if we get audio when we need it. So I think, as everyone knows, at LivePeer Inc., our primary focus has been driving demand to the network through the products we're building around the real-time AI opportunity, as defined in LivePeer Cascade. And those products are being built and experimented with under the brand Daydream. So if you visit daydream.live, you can sort of check out the latest capabilities and tools that we're offering, and you can actually explore and access the scope tool and log in and see all the different plugins and workflows that are available there. If anyone hasn't seen scope in a while, just highlighting some of our recent sort of marketing material on Twitter. Scope is basically this open source node-based workflow control plane for real-time AI capabilities. As new models get released, developers can access those models, but they can also hook them up to pre and post processors. They can tune all of the parameters. They can set various inputs like their webcam or a video on their local machine or sources from other tools. And they can run real-time AI inference through these workflows on them, and they can record the outputs or stream the outputs into other tools for live performances, live installations, and ultimately live applications as well. So, what you see here, what's happening is not necessarily that important, but the concepts are important. You see, 4 different nodes in this workflow, and you see users able to edit prompts and change different parameters, and that'll change the output of the videos in real time. And there's actually no other tools out there that let people do this in the video space when it comes to low latency and real-time inference. The most popular tool, Comfy UI, focuses on batch image and batch video generation. Amazing tool, and we're deeply involved in their community. They just had a big fundraise. I think they announced 4 million users. Very popular in the advertising and creative media and agency space. And that makes sense because batch video generation and batch image generation is having a big impact there. Scope is being built to get out ahead of sort of the live trend, the real-time trend when it comes to real-time video generation and ultimately other media generation and world models as well. So a couple things that shipped recently in the 0.2.4 release last week or in the previous releases to that, this sort of node-based workflow builder where you can drag and drop and add nodes and capabilities that you see in my screen share. Also shipping in the last week or two, big feature for LivePeer is remote inference on the LivePeer network. So if you don't have a local GPU, you can press the connect to cloud button, and that will source GPUs through the LivePeer network to run the workflows, and that's ultimately how demand will get generated on the network. We also shipped a plugin architecture for community-built nodes. So anyone can add capabilities or add supports for new models. A good example of a node that was released last week was like the YouTube input node. So you can drop a YouTube input node and you can just paste the URL of any YouTube video, and that'll become the source for your AI workflow. And that's just one example. I think this LLM prompt enhancer that you actually see in the screen share I have here is another example as well. Now you can type a simple prompt, but automatically get prompt enhancement as you go, just as an example. Other key features include key integrations with popular open source tools and platforms. So here you see integrations with Touch Designer and Resolume and Audio Tool. I'll talk more about audio in a few minutes. Working on Ableton Live. And it's supported via a bunch of popular protocols like NDI, Spout, Siphon, OSC, and MIDI as well, which means that creators and artists and musicians and creative technologists can use these in the tools that they already use without having to migrate entirely over to get the effects by scope. And then there's a lot of audio features as well. Actually, let me come back to that in a second. The two other things that are sort of non-audio related, one is we just shipped support for the LTX2 video model, which if you're on the Stable Diffusion sort of Reddit, is one of the popular video models that's having a moment and sort of taking over the real-time media generation or the media generation world. In scope, it's really the first time people can use it in real time to actually get low latency inference on modifications to LTX. So definitely check out the capabilities there. Each release, we're fixing a lot of bugs. I think the last release actually reduced the inference time 18x, or at least the session startup time 18x. And these are the sorts of like big hack improvements that are being made every week. And so a really great job to the team working on that. Definitely have a lot of work to do to get everything highly reliable, ultra low latency, and high quality for production ready outputs. Definitely not quite there yet. So I do think Scope is a very sort of early tool that enables innovators and tinkerers to experiment with these models, but still waiting for improvements within scope, within the inference stack, but more importantly from like the broader market in terms of what the models can do before sort of the professional enterprise grade production world arrives at real-time AI video. But the good news is this really robust engine that we're building will be there and will be ready and will be mature when that moment comes. So excited about the potential there. One other thing that I know the team's been working on is the agent first APIs and MCP servers to access workflows through Scope and through the LivePeer network infrastructure. Always thinking these days about agents being the one that are going to be using real-time AI capabilities to build applications rather than sort of human developers as a starting point. And so the MCP-based server interface is a priority there as well. Cool. So the next thing I want to talk about is that a lot of the early usage of Scope has been through people that are interested in audio. Maybe they're musicians, they're live performers, they are generating visuals for concerts, but they're also interested in what real-time AI can do for audio generation. So the team has been innovating and actually reached some cool research breakthroughs. And I want to invite Ryan from the team to do an actual live demo probably in a week. And I don't want to reveal too much about the products that he's experimenting with to get out there, but I did want to show a cool demo video here. If let's see if this comes through. So basically there are AI models that can generate music, and maybe you've seen them through apps like Suno, where you can type a prompt and then wait, and then a song comes back. But what the team has worked on is, hey, can we actually take open source versions of these, and can we do anything to optimize them to generate music in real time and respond to changes in controls and actually perform with musicians in real time, or write and author and remix and modify songs in real time. And I'm going to play just a little demo video here that shows a cool breakthrough of a song being fed in, but then AI LoRa's and prompts and dials being moved in real time, and the AI basically takes over and begins remixing and authoring the song. And this is like really impressive. So now the question is, will the audio come through on the Discord screen share? But let's see. I'm going to press play. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me, or if you can hear the audio.
Hear it. We can hear it.
Great. So you see the knobs being moved around, applying different strengths on the remix and the LoRa. And the changes to the music are all being created by AI in real time. And coming to the end here. Sweet. So that was just one inspirational demo video, and a lot of work to do on productizing this. But the early reaction from musicians and creators and people that are interested in live performance is that where the video progress so far is inspirational and early, an indication of the future. This sort of thing is actually addictive and useful and compelling today. And so really excited to move towards some experiments that test acceptance of this in the market. And this runs on consumer grade GPUs, also part of the team's research breakthroughs, 4090s, 5090s, I believe. And so really good candidate to drive demand to the live peer network ultimately. So just wanted to give a little preview of that without revealing too much of sort of the product and go-to-market plans. The team is early in planning that, but I want to show everyone what we're working on at Daydream, what's coming down the pipe. Last thing I will say, and I'm going to cover this in the blog post too, is just the path to getting this stuff on the live peer network. We'll follow a very similar path that we took with transcoding initially, and then Studio, and the early AI capabilities, which is typically the Inc. team wants to validate the actual potential demand, right? And so the first thing we'll do is prototypes and get it in the hands of users, probably backed just by cloud inference, because it's the fastest way to get started, and no sense in doing all the work to bring the things onto live peer if there's no actual fit or demand. As soon as we have that through like a single simple prototype, then we typically begin to pass the work through the live peer network and work with like a handful of orchestrators that opt in to sort of be beta partners to test and debug and observe performance. And then as soon as we get through those milestones, then we always look at sort of like cloud as primary, live peer network as backup, or to take a portion of the traffic so we can observe performance, test scale, and then as the live peer network shows that it is as performant as you need to be for production workflows, switch all the traffic to the live peer network. I imagine with these capabilities, we're exploring a similar path. I know that Scope with remote live peer inference is now onboarding sort of beta orchestrator partners to test and validate that. And I think some of this audio stuff is earlier in the journey, but we'll follow a similar path. But ultimately, why bother putting everything on the live peer network? I think you guys all know the answers. Live peer network aims to be far more cost effective than these premium cloud services while being as high or higher reliability. And of course, that has to be proven out across these different GPU types and AI workflows and everything, but it certainly proved to be the case in transcoding and proved to be the case in some of the early days of the AI experiments, and looking forward to that being the case in the real-time experiments as well. So anyway, exciting preview there, a lot more to come, but just wanted to give everyone an update because it had been a while.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, Doug. And yeah, super exciting. I've seen this coming up over the last couple of weeks. What's maybe the first question? Rough timeline to be public about this. Will this come out in the post? This new direction, or will it be a demo?
It's not really a new direction, right? Like Scope is this engine for sort of real-time media inference, and so and audio and video have always existed alongside one another in Scope. So, but I think when you talk about like the validation that there's actually growth opportunity and users want to play with this stuff inside of products, the go-to-market team within LivePeer Inc. wants to have like 20 really excited, pumped up users willing to pay for this and whatnot in the coming weeks before, let's say, like a bigger, broader launch, and migrating everything onto LivePeer. So I think we're looking at, we can get it in the hands of this community and early users in the coming couple of weeks, and hopefully be off and running from there.
Awesome. A question from John here. Can orchestrators already add scope capabilities to their own nodes if they want? Doug, maybe can you take that one, or should we let Josh respond in the chat?
I believe that right now there's been an opt-in for a handful of orchestrators who volunteered to begin to run the early sort of like scope backing runtime job containers. So it's certainly not sort of like publicly available for all orchestrators to spin them up yet. I don't think it's stable enough, and they wouldn't succeed at running the workflows until we iron out the bugs and do the testing and whatnot. So I think it's in sort of like phase one there.
Awesome. Yeah, let Josh respond in the chat as well. Great. Thanks a lot, Doug. And yeah, if you have any more questions for, I think Chris is here, yeah, Chang's here, Josh is here, so get questions in the chat and can follow up there.
Great. Thanks all.
Awesome. Let's maybe move forward with Elliot, who's going to give a quick update on the Explorer RFP retro. Do you want to come up on stage? Awesome. Take it away.
Hello? Test. I think I'm coming through.
Yeah, we've got it.
Yeah, so was just going to give a final Explorer maintenance RFP update. Basically, just posted the retrospective on the entire RFP, linked it in the chat here if people want to check it out. It's a bit longer than all the other updates. I'm not going to go through too many details here, but yeah, you can see what was delivered, what we considered not quite delivered, stuff that we went beyond commitments with, and then impact, maybe something that is worth actually listing off here is we have a key learning section where the format is kind of like loose bullet points of things that we learned from this whole process. And just to list a couple of them, some of the things that were pretty positive coming out of this that we would emphasize as being like crucial for any other RFPs moving forward because they led to success for this is the detail that went into the original RFP, the original like scoping of it. Really made actually making the proposal for the RFP super easy. So the detail in the scoping was great in the original RFP, and especially the really quick communication with everyone at Live here, everyone that like was needed to give input um, on what was being built was super fast, and that's always the thing that slows down stuff quite a bit is kind of the human coordination aspect of it. And then some other key learnings were we had an auditing session at the beginning. I think because that was a bit more heavy on the human coordination, was probably worth beefing up the timeline there a little bit. I think we did end on time, but that slowed us down a little bit at the beginning with how much time was put into that. There was something that by the end of the RFP, I know it was like 6 months, and by the end of the RFP, the way that I think most developers actually work was very, very different for obvious reasons. So a takeaway here is was thinking about near the end, constantly thinking about different ways of actually coordinating. If it's the Regal team behind developing this, like new tools that are being used, how people should actually be coordinated together within Regal to work on this. Probably looks very different than the last 6 months did. And also, I got the impression that in hindsight, probably should have engaged much more with delegators directly in the Discord chat and anywhere else possible. I think by the end, I realized that I still was lacking a little bit of intuition on exactly what to prioritize and what delegators were looking for. So I think that would be something I focus on more as a little bit more direct engagement with the main users, which are delegators. Won't go into any other details because I think I already went maybe a little bit too long just now. But yeah, you can read more details in the forum post.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, Elliot. Yeah, I think we've been singing your praises over the last couple of weeks and for going above and beyond the RFP and for always shipping consistently. So yeah, good feedback to have that scoped RFP works and definitely we'll be doing this over the next week or two to potentially set you or someone else up with a new Explorer RFP.
Can I quickly?
Go for it. Go for it.
I'm just realizing I wanted to spend a moment. I totally forgot. It's not just me working on the Explorer the last 6 months. I feel like I failed to mention that a handful of other regulators are working on this or did work on it, which is Yonder, Yip, and Sasquatch. And then outside of Rayguild, Roaring Thirties also contributed a ton to this. So I don't think they've ever been on this call, but they all worked like quite a lot on this throughout the last 6 months.
Awesome. Thanks. Yeah, thanks for the shout out. I know there's been a number of folks, a number of raiders working on it. So yeah, big shout out to Raid Guild plus Rolling Thirties as a whole, and definitely can move forward and see what else Raid Guild can contribute to the live ecosystem. Any other questions for Elliot? No? We have IBS requesting to speak.
Hi everyone.
Hi,
So
IBS. Do you have a question for Elliot?
yeah, I have a very brief question. So I want to ask whether the is open to contribution by external contributors since your team is done working on it.
So I think it cut out a little bit at the beginning. You said who were something about the contributors? working on it?
Yeah, I want to ask if it's open to like external contributors, like probably maybe improvements or like a feature request. Is it open for that at the moment?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, there's a in the let me look it for you. There is a contributor guide, but yeah, it's definitely open for people to contribute. The person Roaring 30 is actually totally outside of live peer and regular, I believe, and yeah, there's a number of features and refactors that he like contributed heavily to. But I can link you the contributor guide, but it's definitely open.
All right, thank you. Because I saw some issues, some open issues, so I was thinking of jumping on them.
Yeah, maybe some more context as well, that there will be a new RFP coming in the next couple of weeks, most likely. So yeah, definitely. Thanks for tagging, uh, and yeah, keep an eye out for over the next couple of weeks. Awesome. I we were going to have an update from Steph, but um, I'm not sure whether she can join. So I just wanted to close out by bringing attention to the LivePeer documentation. So as you know, we had a documentation restructure that was at the back end of last year. There's been a huge amount of work gone into restructuring the docs to make them AI first, to make them more AI readable, and there's been a huge amount of work that Ali has put in over the last couple of months. The handover is now taking place, and the RFP is wrapped up. Ali's written out a large retro that you can go away and have a look at, and then from here on, the foundation, working led by Rick and working with Adam, will start to look at the V2 docs and to start improving from here on in. Steph isn't here, but Rick, do you want to give like a very high level overview? I don't know whether you're on daddy duty right now, but if you do have a moment to come up and give a maybe a 30-second overview of ownership. There we go.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we've got you.
Great. Yeah, about the documentation in line of with the other tracks that we're doing, right?
Exactly.
Amazing. Yeah, so I can give a quick update on that. Steph can give a bigger update moving forward. So from the foundation, we're working on enabling the community to onboard more demand. We do it in true text. We help solution providers like Blueclaw, frameworks, and Flip Suite, getting on the network, see what's needed there from the core engineering stuff. We also work on how we can easier onboard developers through like an outcome that we call like a 5-minute onboarding. And there's several projects that are done on that. So you saw the website upgrade already. If you guys haven't seen that, go to livepeer.org. If you have like feedback, let us know. Apart from that, we have now the developer SPE proposal, which is live, which Rich already said, that you can vote on however you want. And related to this 5-minute onboarding, there are several tracks that are being done, continuing what we did with transformation SPE. So that's the local SDK, which was being developed by Josh and John there under the transformation SPE, with help from Chang and other people and Mike. And then you also have the, of course, link to that, like the documentation, which we want to build on what the valuable things that Ali did and really simplify it so that people go from like reading what's available on LivePeer towards really using LivePeer network within 5 minutes. That's essentially the goal there. I think that sums it up. There's another session that we did on like a discovery portal there, which Steph can talk on like next, which in the next water cooler. But I think that's a small summary, Rich. Does that work for you?
Thanks for the quick update.
Yeah, and if people have questions, let me know.
There's been a couple of comments over the last couple of months, feedback on the V2 of the documentation, and this is why the foundations are now there, which are fantastic. And over the next weeks, Rick and Adam will be have this as a critical part to make sure that we can sort of deprecate V1 and move to V2 as quickly as possible. Awesome. I know the chat is deep in it right now, so I'm not gonna turn things off completely, but maybe we can just come to wrapping up for the week and have some wins of the week. For those of you who are joining for the first time, wins of the week is when you can give a shout out to someone else in the ecosystem that has done particularly good work or has done something, shipped something which is useful to you, or you just wanted to share some love at the beginning of the week. So, does anyone want to kick things off? I will come in with okay, go ahead, Madame. You were quick on the draw. Usually I have to fill in.
Yeah, thank you. I just wanted to give a shout out to like the whole community because today I was going through forum to like find all of the posts and like put together the wrap up for April, and it's just amazing how much work is going into LivePeer right now from different angles. Different people are doing different things, and there is like even a lot of work that is not in the wrap up that I made, but and it's like under the surface. It's going to come out maybe in next few weeks or months, so it's just mind-blowing how much work is being done right now. Just want to give a like whole community shout out.
Sharing that broad love, we love it. Two shout outs in the chat. We have one to Josh again for the helpful Go Live peer reviews. Shout out to John and his relentless work on Payment House and the Live peer remote signing. John is a dedicated servant of this ecosystem. I will say that. So massive shout out to John. I don't know whether he's still on the call. Oh yeah, he is. Fantastic. Also, a big shout out to the Daydream crew for first of all getting scope on the network, but also the new experimentation looks really cool. So excited to see whether there's a viral moment inbound. So massive shout out to the product team. Anyone else? Rick, were you gonna? Yeah, go ahead.
I want to do a shout out to Mike, who was on the stage for his the ongoing dedication to make LivePeer work with all the things that he does there. Some things I think people don't see are visible, but other people, I hope that it's visible. For example, the Blue Claw pipelines, the adapter there, which got Flip Suite on the network, also the pool. The payment bot, which is not yet here, but and also all the bring your own container feedback to Brad, the bring your own container suite, which he built. So a lot of things there, and if you haven't seen those things, check them out. Thank you so much, Mike, for being in the ecosystem and always building.
Thanks, Rick. Appreciate it, homie. Always out there working, my man. Trying to make it better.
Amazing. Anyone else? Any shout outs?
I want to also give a shout out to Mike for keeping the only public pipeline, to my knowledge, in the network, so that we are able to do these workloads, to do these user cases in the system.
Again, thank you. A lot of it's still funded by the community. I mean, I know Speedy and I put a lot of extra hours and work on keeping this infrastructure up and running, but the gateway has been funded by the community over the last 2 years. And although funding has been low recently, it's definitely seems to be a good way for folks to continue to test the network and use it and play with it without actually making, their own financial commitment. So we'll continue to do that as long as the community keeps supporting it.
Alrighty. Well, thanks everyone for joining this week. We will be back next week, and in the meantime, stay classy, and yeah, see you in a week.
Have a nice week, guys.
Thanks. Take care, everyone.